back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. I'm JC, a contemporary fiction author and a poet. I have an online magazine and online store with writer merch, a blog, Patreon, and if you ever want to donate to any of my creative endeavors, I have a Ko-fi you can tip me on. This video is going to be in the vein of a tag, sort of. They're author answers questions. If you've ever seen the Substack author answers, where they have an author and they answer two or three questions that have been posed to them, and I don't think they ever have the same author on repeatedly, but I would like to do some of the questions that they ask from time to time. So today I'm doing one of those. Actually, I'm going to do two of those. The first question that I'm going to do says, not all books are for all readers. When you start a book and you just don't like it, how long do you read until you bail? I will say, and I know this is not true for everyone, but there aren't that many books that I don't like. Mostly because I know my taste, I know my preferences. When I read the blurb on a book, I know what kind of book is going to get me interested. I'm not typically an experimental reader, as in, like, how do I say this? I don't read horror. Anyway, the typical horror. Because I know Riley Sager, some of his books is considered horror, but they seem more thriller-ish for me. But I don't typically read horror unless it's Laura Nettles. I will read hers because it's Laura and she's amazing. But, so I wouldn't necessarily pick up a horror and expect to like it, because I'm not a horror person. It's not my thing. Now, that said, I guess I have read authors where I'm one of those people that cannot get through if there are too many. Well, I can get through, but if there's too many grammatical errors, spelling errors I can kind of deal with, but grammatical errors really kind of, if there's just too many, if it's clear that no one's eyes except for that writer were on this book, that's probably not a good way to say that, but because there are writers who do edit their own stuff, and they're not filled with grammar errors, but that might be the only thing that would get me to pause. But I don't DNF books. So once I start reading, I'm reading until the end. So I don't bail on books at all. I haven't read too many that I haven't liked in the last several years, but if I did, I'd still continue reading, because I believe that there is value in every book that you read, whether it be reading it to pick up techniques and certain things with description that you're not good at, and to whether you're reading something that can better help you hone your own craft, or if you're reading something that is so, I'm going to use the word terrible, so terrible that it kind of teaches you what not to do, or if the story is not good and it teaches you what stories you don't like. I'm one of those people that believes that, I'm not going to say that there's no bad books, but I don't believe that there are any books that aren't worth reading, just for the simple fact that every book can teach you something. And I know that's a hot take or controversial, but there's not many people that feel that way. Because a lot of people will say to me, well, you're supposed, you read for your enjoyment. If I'm not enjoying the book, why would I keep on reading? But I mean, I read for enjoyment, yes, but I do feel like reading a book that's not quite your taste or up to par for you, it teaches you the standards you want for your own books. It teaches you what tropes you may not want to experiment with, what styles of writing you may not want to do. If you read a book in omnipresent or third person, or it may teach you that, hey, maybe I don't like those point of views. Maybe I don't like a dual point POV book because I read this book and it taught me that I don't like this style of writing. I just believe everything can teach you something, be it good or bad. So I don't bail on books. The second question that is on here is, what period of history do you wish you knew more about? Now, I want to preface this with saying this is not a period of history I want to go back to. It's just one for research purposes that I want to learn more about, and that is the World War II era, specifically in Germany. There's a lot that I want to know. I'm a huge history person, but I am a huge history person in that particular era as well. Like I have studied that era so much. Still studying. I have an idea for a historical romance book that I want to write one day that is set in that time frame. So, and I have this fascination with, less of a fascination now as history is repeating itself here in the U.S. But I definitely want to learn more about that era in time for lots of reasons. I don't think there's any other era that I really want to, that I wish I knew more about. Maybe World War I. Also, I'm just World War I and II are kind of like the things that I want to study, or that I have liked studying. Not that I like the events that happened in those eras, but I just find it fascinating, and not always in the best way, but I just find it fascinating. And those are eras of history that intrigue me, largely for research purposes, but I'm just, those are things I want to know more about. But that's the two questions that I have on my list for today. And that is going to be it for this video. I will link the Author Answers Substack below so that you guys can go check it out for yourself. I've been thinking about submitting, because I think you can submit to answer some questions, but I haven't yet. Thinking about it. But that's going to be it for this video. If you like what you see and you want to see more videos from me, make sure that you hit that like and subscribe button. I post videos on Mondays. I live stream on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And as per usual, if you would like to be supportive of me in any of my creative endeavors, such as my blog, my online magazine, my online store with writing merch, becoming a member on my Patreon, tipping me on my Ko-fi, buying my books on Amazon, or reading them in Kindle Unlimited, all of those links can be found in the description box below. And until next time, take care of yourselves and have a blessed day. Bye.